catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cam's Corner. Today, joining me, none other than Merrimack starting point guard Jayme DeCesare, another Johnstonian like myself. Jayme, thank you for joining me, and how's it been going this year so far?
Thank you for having me. It's been good. A little slow start in the beginning, but we've had a new coach over my sophomore year, so it's different. She her roles are different, like what she wants all of us to do. So I think this year we're just focusing more on people's roles and getting to know what she wants to do in her system. And I think we've seen great progress over the last 3 games. So I think we're heading in the right direction, but it was a little struggle at first, but yeah. I think we're good.
It's always like that with new coaches. I just called the game last night. Rhode Island College played Curry, and the coach was in his first season. They're 0-8 on the season. It's tough when, new coaches in the system and everything like that, but you guys will get the ball rolling. Still a lot of games left to play, but what I do with all my athletes is I kind of dig deeper into their playing career, where it all kind of started. So my first question I want to ask you is, at the early stages of your career, when you were little and stuff, what was it like playing growing up in Johnston?
I mean, it was great. I mean, playing with Antonia and Jordan, It was awesome. And I don't know, in Johnston, we're all a tight family. So when I had my dad playing at Johnston, and my aunt was also a 1,000-point scorer at Johnston. So just being around that community and playing with the girls from Johnston, it was just a great experience. And then it stinks going off to LaSalle and not being able to play with the people I grew up with, but I still got to play with Kyra there, here and there. But I just think playing in the rec league in Johnston and travel and playing with the group of girls like Antonia, Jordan, like I mentioned, that brought me and developed me as a player like I am today, because I competed with them every day.
Right. And I know you said you went to private schools growing up, probably your whole life, St. Rocco's and Johnston and LaSalle. Outside of basketball, was there any main reason that you chose those schools to go to, or was it just mainly to get your name out there as fast as possible on the court?
Yeah, I think it was also education. LaSalle had a great education, and also we knew that LaSalle is the highest D1 school. So I think playing at the highest level of competition would help me to go on and play college ball and stuff. And,
we just talked about Antonia and Kyra, and I know we probably played with Kaylin Zalewski as well. She's at Dartmouth. What was it like you just said, elaborate a little bit more on that, how it was playing with them and now seeing them at the college level as well? Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome. I watched Antonia's game the other night where she had 21 points, and I was I grew up with her.
Playing pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. I also watch Jordan's games sometimes, and it's good now, seeing how well they're doing. And it's just it's really awesome to know, I grew up with them and we all played together. So the connection's still there. We still reach out to each other, hey, great game and stuff. So it's great.
Yeah. It's tough, at college levels, you guys part ways and stuff. Yeah. But we'll definitely get into your freshman year and stuff like that a little bit later, but backtracking a little bit, when did a true passion for basketball really, really start for you?
So I grew up playing softball, baseball, all that stuff, all the sports growing up. But I would say I think I really developed that I wanted to stick with basketball my freshman year of high school, because I also played ice hockey before that.
Really?
And when I got to LaSalle, they were both in the same season. So I was I had to pick which one I wanted to go with. And I just felt when I stepped on the basketball court, I felt that's where I wanted to be. So I think that's when I truly realized basketball was like the sport for me.
Was it hard to like choose from just one sport? Because I mean,
Yeah.
how many did you play? Like you
So I
played
played,
softball.
yeah, softball, hockey,
Mhm.
basketball, soccer. So
Wow.
yeah, I played them all.
Yeah, at a young age, youth, you kind of like sometimes you might be thrown
Yeah.
into certain sports that you're not even
Mhm.
interested in. But playing as many sports as you did, who was like your biggest influence as you started to get older and compete at like a higher level?
Definitely my dad.
Yeah.
Like I grew up and he was telling me like how many sports he played, baseball, basketball, football. And I was like, I just want to be like him. And he was my coach growing up all the years. Like we had our battles and stuff, but I think he's always like stuck by my side and he's pushed me and he's made me the player I am today in person, no doubt. Like sometimes we don't speak after games, but I think when he's hard on me, like I know I gotta keep going and stuff. So I think he's definitely made a big influence on me.
Yeah, that's how all like your biggest fans are. Like
Yeah.
the people that kind of argue with you and
Mhm.
like just from personal experience too, playing sports like that, don't like if they yell at you and they're hard on you like that, those are the people that want you to do the best, like
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But
Mhm.
like I said earlier, growing up in Johnston, like myself, being so close to the town, um so LaSalle was like the main reason for LaSalle was obviously getting your name out there the best way you could, playing on the court. How was it like the first couple of days of practice coming in as a freshman? How did you bond with your new teammates, and how was it like for the rest of the year already being on varsity, like starting on varsity?
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up around LaSalle,
Mhm.
like when I was little, like I think from fourth to eighth grade, I was going to the LaSalle basketball camps every summer. So like I knew all the girls that were playing there because they ran the camps, and I knew the coach and his wife. So I think I had like a good feel for the community, what it was like. And we also got to play summer league before that. So I think I had like a good idea what I was going into, what I needed to do. Like he was a tough coach, like you have to work hard, like no slacking off and stuff. So it was basically, I don't know, I don't want to say it was easy, but I already knew what I had to do to like get on like the radar and stuff like that. And the girls were just, they were awesome too. Like they knew like as a freshman coming on varsity, that's like hard and stuff. And you're
Right.
just learning, everything's gonna be new, but they were always there for me to like, hey, like this is how you do this and all that stuff. So I think like it made like being a freshman on varsity and just made it so much easier with the girls, like and all their support.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like what prepared you the most, but like before the start of that season. But like you said, being in that like that
Yeah.
system, going to those camps, from like fourth grade to
Yeah.
that point, that was probably like your best like
Yeah.
um your
100%.
best way to get used to the system. And you was the coach like the same coach when you were in
Yeah.
fourth
It was the
grade all the
same
way up?
coach and I had him since my senior year.
And did you play from an AAU too?
No, I
No,
didn't.
so a different coach. All right, but it's still same coach since fourth
Yeah.
grade. Knowing him being in that system was another reason why you chose LaSalle, because you just knew
Mhm.
so many familiar faces and they knew how you played and they were very comfortable and
Yeah.
confident in the way you played. But
Mhm.
digging deeper into your LaSalle career, we'll get into those 3 rings a little bit later. But being a freshman, probably not having that expectation right out of the gate to win a ring. How did that season pan out, and like how far did you guys end up going?
So freshman year, we had a great season. Like I think we were like the top team in the league, but here and there we have our off games and stuff. I think we lost 5 games my freshman year. But we were like all sticking together and we all played our hearts out. Like that was a great group of senior class that we had. And the point guard who was also there, like I just looked up to her and she's been there for 3 years. She was a senior when I was a freshman. So she knew the system, she knew everything that needed to be done. So I think just watching her closely and like doing what she did when I got out there, I think that was the main thing. Like I just wanted to follow in her footsteps. But we had a great season that year and we ended up winning the championship, which was an amazing accomplishment. And then I think after that championship, the following year, I was like, I knew the feeling and I knew how like awesome it was to feel like
Yeah.
that and be playing at the Ryan Center and stuff. So that was my goal every year, was to go back like the rest of my sophomore, junior, and senior year and try to get that ring again.
Yeah, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I know I saw your schedule. I know you guys played URI this year. You probably played them in the past too, playing with Merrimack, but was like playing at the Ryan Center your sophomore year for the state championship, like your first kind of taste of being on a college court?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Was there any like other experiences, like you said, like in AAU that you kind of had, or was like playing in that kind of an arena was like the first kind
Yeah.
of?
No, for AAU, I just think we played like the biggest tournament was like Washington, and it was just a convention center with a ton of courts. But I think URI was definitely the most like college arena we've played in, because it's so big and like it's amazing, and it was cool. Like that's what I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I wanted to play in that.
All right, and it was awesome seeing you guys, get there every year after your freshman year. But you're backtracking a little bit, going back to freshman year. What was your most? I always ask all the athletes that come on, what was your most memorable moment of your first year of high school? Playing basketball, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would probably definitely be the championship, without a doubt. That was, I don't know, it's just like the feeling of winning a championship, and just knows like how all your hard work pays off, like every time, every day going to practice, even though the days you don't want to, it just all pays off in the end. So I think like that was definitely the most memorable thing in my freshman year, because being a freshman, like going in on the varsity team, like it's a lot. Like people are looking at you and being like, oh, she's a freshman, whatever, but that doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you just go out there, give it your all every day. And I think winning a state championship is everyone's goal.
No, exactly. And you guys definitely did a great job of doing that. But now going in, transitioning now into your sophomore year, that was a huge breakout year for you.
Yeah.
Scoring more, playing a bigger role, really starting to take on the position as the front runner of the offense. Was there any time you started to take a bigger, when you started to take this bigger role, did you ever feel like pressured? Say you had like a bad game, or you felt like you played bad and you could have done better just because of how much was expected out of you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm really hard on myself, so I think I can always do better. But I mean, yeah, there were some games like I felt pressure, because I knew like my teammates would make like I knew they were like relying on me at some points, but I knew I also had to get them involved and like while also like scoring. So it was a little bit of pressure, but it wasn't, because I had other people with me to like help me out. But yeah, I mean, I can always do better, I feel like. So I'm always.
Plus, you're capable of doing all that stuff. But like I said, playing a bigger role as the point guard, like you got to facilitate. You have to, and it being the main scorer too, you got to be able to score, and just kind of do everything, defense, everything.
Yeah.
But can you remember a game in like particular where you were like, you know what I mean, just down and you just couldn't get it going?
Oh yeah, definitely my junior year of high school in the semifinals against Barrington, we lost that. And I just remember that game, like we could not hit a shot. Like everything was just going wrong for us that game. And it was just, I remember it to the day. It was probably the worst moment of my basketball career. It was just like the game, like it was just dragging so long. Like the other team was just doing unbelievable, hitting every shot. And then when it came to us, we just felt like everything was going wrong. We couldn't hit a shot. And it was bad.
What's your mindset going through that game? Like, I know, like you said, you weren't hitting shots, certain passes were going through. Like, do you like kind of hesitate in the kind of moments like that? Or just like,
no, I feel like if I don't see, if I'm shooting a three or something and I'm off and I'm not making them, I feel like I need to do like something else. Like, all right, my shot's not off today. Let me get to the basket or something, and let me create for my teammate who's hot. Like, I definitely don't think my mindset shuts down in any way. I think like, what can I do next to make my team better? And what can I do where I know like I can get a bucket when we really need one?
No, that's really the best part of playing the point guard position, because you can create, you can create for other people, you can create shots for yourself, and that's probably the best position for you.
Yeah, when I'm creating a shot for someone else and they're making it, it's basically like I scored, like I set them up for that play.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. And like,
assists are just as good as points in my mind.
right. And like being in Rhode Island, like, I know it's out like D1 stuff's a little different, but like Providence General always has all the stats and they always emphasize like points. People see like how many points you score
Yeah,
a game.
exactly.
People don't see like tip passes. People don't see like steals. People don't see like rebounds. Like they don't see the whole game on a sheet. It's just not like that because, you know, it's obviously not the WNBA or the NBA. Like,
Yeah.
but those are the main things that coaches look at, which they put more trust in you as they see that throughout the way. But for me, like playing, like I was always a person to play off the ball. I was always trying to get open off ball screens. Wasn't so much of a ball handler. So you being, like I said, you being the person to control the offense, just get everything going. It must be tough, like you said, in that game against did you say Barrington or Burrowville?
Yeah, Barrington.
Barrington.
Mhm.
Like it's just tough. And like my mindset, I would be lost. Already be out of the game after that, like mentally. But you know, kind of getting a little off on a tangent there, but going back to your sophomore year, that season you ended up winning ring again, like you said, MVP. After that, the rest of the season was just the rest of your career was history. 1,000-point score, All-Stater, McDonald's All-American nominee, 2 more rings after that, your junior and senior season.
No junior.
No, oh, that's right, freshman. My fault.
3 out
Freshman.
of 4. That haunts me every day.
My bad. As all this is going on, and you were, you know, such at a high pedestal. When did you start to get offers for college, and what kind of offers were you getting as well?
Yeah, so I think it all started in AAU, definitely. The big tournaments in Washington. I went there for, I want to say, for like 4 days or something, my senior year, and we played in a tournament and stuff. And there was a bunch of college coaches there, so I just like went out, played my heart out like I always do, whatever. And then I remember after the game, my AAU coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, this college coach is interested in you. He's gonna be like, she's gonna be calling you and stuff." And it was Merrimack. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I knew about Merrimack from like a family friend that went here before, but I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then that's when that was my first one. And then that's like after that, that's when like all my other interests from coaches like started to come in. It was definitely from that tournament. So I got interest in like Fairleigh Dickinson, NJIT, Caldwell, and this, yeah, it was, I think definitely that tournament was what got like the college system going.
Did like before that tournament, was there any like college, like what year was that again? You said
It was the summer of senior year.
senior. Okay, so
Junior year.
Yeah, right. So did you was there any like people like that, like recruiters and stuff like that at your games at LaSalle, or was it just that tournament that kind of drew them in after
Yeah,
that?
it was that tournament, I believe. And it was also, I mean, after I committed to Merrimack, that's when she came to the LaSalle games and watched me play, but I don't think it was, I think it was all AAU.
So what made you choose Merrimack?
Yeah, so I visited, it was my last visit I went on. I visited all those other schools before, and it was just something about Merrimack, like right when I stepped on, like I knew like this is where I wanted to be. It wasn't a big school, it was like a good school, but you could just tell like everyone was just so friendly over here, and like everyone was just like a tight family. And I knew when I came up for the visit, I got to watch a practice and I got to play pick up with the girls, and they were just like, they were all very nice, and I could tell like they were like a tight family. And that's the kind of environment I want to be on, because like growing up in a tight family, like that's what you want to like go to college, because you're home away from home,
Right.
so you want to be able to be with like a close family over here. So that was definitely the thing that stood out to me.
Exactly. Plus, it's not too far away. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know
I
how,
could
probably
get in
like
the
about an
car
hour.
like today and go home or something. So.
Exactly. So when you were a senior at LaSalle, if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, they made the jump from Division II to Division I, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you committed, did you know they were going to be Division I, or did you think they were going to be a Division II school when you committed?
Yeah. So Coach Monique was talking to me about how it was up in the air about Division I and stuff. And she like said, like, I recruited you because I knew you could play at Division I level and stuff. So I knew they were D2, and I wasn't committed when they were D2 until like I went on the visit. It was literally the visit. I went on the visit, and then the next day she texted me and was like, "We just jumped up to D1." So it's like, oh wow, like all that. So after that, I just like thought about it, and I'm like, if I think I can do it, and like I'll have a lot of fun, and it's like nice and know like you're a Division I athlete, like that's a big accomplishment. So I knew like if I put my work and time and effort into it, like if I could have like successful in Division I level. So I knew that was something I wanted to do like growing up.
And that was definitely another reason for choosing Merrimack after hearing that, for sure. You know, being blessed to even have it, you know, any kind of offers at all, but D1 predominantly is, you know, that's the main goal. But I know I keep sidetracking a little bit. We got to backtrack a little bit more. But before I ask my last question about LaSalle, what was the most points you scored in a game for LaSalle, and what was your mindset during and after it?
Yeah, it was 26 against North Kingstown. I remember at North Kingstown, and no, it was just like my mindset was just go out there, give it your all, 100%. When stuff is going bad, don't pick your head, like don't drop your head and stuff, because I feel like if you drop your head when something's going wrong, it's that thing's gonna stick in your mind for the rest of the game, and that's gonna mess you up on your next shot. So I think you just gotta have a next play mentality, like keep going. Like if you missed your first shot, take another one. So I just think like that was my mindset going into that game. Like I have to like facilitate for my teammates, get them involved when they're hot, like keep going to them. And I feel like then my shots will come and stuff. So yeah, that was one of my best games, I would say. Yeah,
like you just said, like when you're down, you got to keep going. Like you said, for me, when I was a player, it was just hard. I had the mentality to do it. It was just like, I don't know, because like me, like the main thing I did was shoot. So when I wasn't shooting, it was like, it was tough. So having that strong mentality is a huge part of basketball. And like, you know, Merrimack and all the colleges that saw you play definitely saw that in your game, how you're just like a one-minded player. And that's like a very, very good trait to have. But going back to LaSalle, I know the championships is obviously a once in a lifetime thing. Having the opportunity to take home 3 is a blessing in itself. But was there anything else that really that sticks with you to this day after graduating from LaSalle, like memories and stuff like that?
Definitely playing for Coach Reddy. Like I know many people could be like, oh, he's tough and stuff, but he's definitely shaped me into the person I am today, and also player, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be this like strong, and like the mentality I have in my head, I don't think like I would have that. But he's made me like, he's helped me get thick skin, definitely. Like we would have our battles here and there in practice, but I just think like he was tough on me, but he knew I could handle it. So he definitely shaped me into being like that tough, strong-minded person. So he definitely prepared me for college also, when like if a coach is hard on you, you can't just go like get so upset about it. You gotta just get back up and keep pushing even harder and stuff. So that was one big thing I've definitely taken away from LaSalle basketball.
Exactly. I know, you know, for me too, like having the opportunity to be coached by Coach Dan, like, you know, he's been, I say this on all my episodes, I know people are probably sick of hearing me say it, but he's been really like the forefront of me, like kind of pursuing a dream and just pushing to get all these kind of athletes. Like he's always been in the back of my head, just, you know, throughout the whole course of this. And I know I talked to you last night about, you know, broadcasting for Rick, having that passion just to talk. And it's so cool how far a coach's like, I guess like ways of teaching you, that how far it can bring you like in the long run. And you know, obviously you still being at Merrimack, going back now to your freshman year, fresh new start, whole new roster. You've probably never seen any of these teammates before, now going into a whole new state. So what was that? What were the first couple of days like at Merrimack in the system, practicing with the whole new team and everything like that?
Yeah, so definitely the system was different because I grew up my whole life playing a man defense. And when I got here, Coach Mo's defense was strictly zone. So we that was a big transition, but it was like she taught us well how to do it, and like we had a successful year playing the zone. But it was just coming in like the first few days, I just actually a good part about freshman year was we had a summer session. So in that summer session, we were able to get a feel for her system and what she needed, what she wanted on offense, defense, what the girls were like, what this player did and all that stuff. So I think the summer sessions definitely are like very helpful, because it like come when the season starts, you're not learning it right there. Like you already knew it from summer session. So that was definitely very helpful. And it was just an amazing experience my freshman year. Like we had a 20-win season in our first year, Division I,
Yep.
which was like amazing. Not many teams like do that, but yeah, she had the confidence in me to be her starting point guard my freshman year. So I just went out there every day, gave it my 100%. I did what she had to do. She was definitely a coach where you could pull up from half court and she wouldn't be mad. Like if it went in, she would be like, okay, do it again.
Really?
So it was definitely, I never had that doubt in my mind when a shot was going up that she would be mad. Like I knew like I could take it to the rack whenever, I could shoot whenever, and it would be okay.
So
But
she gave almost everybody the green light.
oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, if it went in, like you were fine. Like she didn't, it was good though, because it like I knew I had confidence. Like she had the
Right.
confidence in me where if I pulled it, she would be fine.
Exactly.
So,
That's good. That's good to know that your coach has an endless amount of confidence in you. That must like boost your confidence too as a player. And of course, that season was a great way to start off your college career, being named NEC All Rookie First Team, leading your team in assists and scoring. What was your coaching? Like you just said, your coaching staff. What do they have to say about all those accomplishments? Being a freshman, already putting up so much trust in you from the jump, and expecting so much out of your first year.
yeah, she was really happy with like how I performed my freshman year. I remember having a conversation with her and she was telling me like not many freshmen come in and do what you did. Like many people like freshman year, like come in and they're just learning the system. Like they don't start and perform the way I did freshman year. So I think hearing that from her was definitely like it felt good hearing. Like I know like I had a great year. So
Yeah. How did it feel when you found out you were named to the all rookie team?
yes, I remember that day actually we actually went home because of COVID.
Wow.
And
Yep. Oh, wow.
I like woke up and she blew up my phone, my coach, and she sent me it. And I was like, wow. And it was like, you just know, like all that hard work, time, effort I spent with her in the office, going over plays and everything like that. I just felt like all that pays off in the end. Like it can be a lot. And sometimes you don't want to do it. Like you just want to stay home and stuff. But if you get it done, the results will be great in the end.
So how did the season end up panning out for you guys? I know you said COVID was tough and everything like that.
Yeah,
but...
so we made it to the a conference. I think it was like the WIT, and then we got to go home for 3 days for like a break and stuff. And then after that break, we never got to go back, which was
you got to finish out the season though? Oh well, no,
the conference, but we never
Right,
got
yeah.
to go to that tournament. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to be jumping the gun. I might have missed it a little bit, but when did that Sports Center top 10 half court shot take place? That was with Merrimack, right?
Oh yeah. Mm.
So, what was the feeling like seeing that on Sports Center, and what was your mindset even so, like taking the shot one and like seeing how it escalated after that?
Yeah. So that at Sacred Heart was I saw the clock winding down. I got the rebound. I'm like, I'm just throwing it up. I threw it up. And I remember we weren't having like a great game that game in the first quarter. And I could tell like things just weren't going our way. So it went in and I rewatched the video and I was just like, there was just no emotion on my face. Like I just went back into the timeout. Like we still got a lot more game to play. But after the game, like watching it again, I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how it went in, but it went in. So you know.
Did you expect it to be on like, well, it was like a sports center like
It
top
was
10
like
thing,
it
right?
was a top play for the NEC that year.
Oh, okay.
It was like, I think it got third or something.
Transitioning now into your sophomore year, ranked 6th in the league for assists with 47, average a solid 9 points, and standing at 5'5", ranked as high as 8th in the league for defensive rebounds with 63. So very impressive from that. Having the impressive freshman year that you had, did you ever feel pressured now at the college level? Did you think that your coaches expected the same, if not more, now going into this sophomore season?
Yeah. So sophomore season was definitely a hard one. We got a new coach. We also went through COVID without a coach, which was hard.
Yep.
So we got a new coach, and she came from John Carroll and stuff. And it was hard during COVID. You couldn't get a summer session. So we didn't know what she expected of us. We didn't know our roles and stuff. So going into sophomore year, we went to practice every day. We were actually the last team in the country to play a game because of all our shutdowns. Like we would get to a day of a game, and then they would call us, oh no, a teammate tested positive for COVID, quarantine for 10 days. So it was hard. So we finally got to a game, and it was horrible. Like no one knew their roles. No one knew what she expected of them. And it was just, we didn't feel like we knew what we were doing on offense, all that stuff. So sophomore year was definitely a learning year, I would say, because we were just trying to learn her new system and what she wanted. And it was just, I don't think it was like a great year for us. It was definitely like, if you ask coach today, she'll just be like, yeah, that year doesn't count for us, because it was just not. Yeah. So it was definitely a hard year, I would say. And then our first game was conference play. We didn't get to play any scrimmages before that. So we just they threw us in a game in conference play, and it was like, wow, like this, we don't know what's going on. It just felt like we had no idea what was going on. So we didn't finish great that year. I think we ended up in, 7th or 8th place, but we had 5 wins. But it was, I don't know. I don't really like to think back to that year.
How was I'm just trying to think of like practices, because I talked to a lot of college athletes that had to play through that pandemic. Maybe even because I know you said in your freshman year after that tournament, it was kind of like the first outbreak of it, but and athletes were in their first year of college or a couple years of college, and they had to play through that. And like they said, practices were in like pods. So you would go with like 3 people, and you'd go with those 3 people every day. Was it the same for you guys?
Yeah, it was the same here. We would have to go with the people that we lived with. So every day, like I lived with 3 other teammates. So it would just be us 4 that day. But here and there, we would like be able to go with the whole team, but like it was mask on, no taking it off. Like they were really like strict about it over here, like, which they should be, because it was spreading so much on campus, and it was like, it was scary.
Yeah. And a lot of colleges actually sent like almost like the whole school home. Yeah. So obviously, being an athlete, it's kind of like mandatory that you're there, because, games are all over the place. But I know that you said that was kind of like a more of a learning year for you. Did you feel, I was going to ask you if you felt more confident now on the court after having that whole freshman year under your belt, but I know I completely forgot about the like COVID regulations and all that, but did that, confidence kind of play an effect in that season at all with all the regulations, or it was just kind of like all up in the air with everything going on?
No, I wouldn't. No, it was I know that was definitely always in the back of my mind, right? But I don't know. I was definitely coaching changes are very hard. I would definitely say that.
Yeah, especially in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, you can't. That's just something that's out of your control. But now with your current season on the way, your junior season, what was it like playing against a ranked 16th team in the country in Kentucky last week?
Yeah, so that was probably an experience that I'll remember for my life, like the rest of my life. Like that was a great experience. Like we went up there 3 days early. Our coach took us to a horse park. We got to see some Kentucky Derby horse winners, like, which was really cool. We went battle axe throwing. Like it was just a great experience. I've never been to Kentucky.
Oh, you played in
before.
Kentucky?
Yes, we did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So going up there was definitely like an amazing experience. But I would say our mindset going into that game was we just like you can't have the mindset like you already know you're gonna lose because it's just gonna you can't go in the game like that. So our mindset was going in was just like give it your all 100%, no matter what the score says. We just want to stick together as a team and we just want to take steps in the right direction like every day. So that's what we did. Another goal of ours was like we want people to look at us and say, wow, this Merrimack team does not like give up. Like they fight to the end no matter what the score says. So that's definitely what we wanted to accomplish that game, and we did do that. Like we played really well that game. I know the score probably doesn't show it, but we just like stuck together as a team when things went bad. We fought our way through it, and I think our goal was to keep them under 100. That was definitely a goal of mine, and we did that. So it was good. It was really cool playing a ranked 16 team, like their facilities. We got to tour them and their locker rooms and stuff. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more instances where you have those kind of opportunities like that, which is what D1 can bring you, like just so many plentiful amount of opportunities. I know you said earlier, tough start right now, sitting at was it 2-7 or 2-6?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of games still left to play. What do you think your team collectively needs to do to start getting, the ball rolling and start winning more games?
Defense, 100%. Right now, if you look at the stats at NEC, we're ranked 10th for defense in the conference. That's definitely has to change. Defense and rebounding wins games. So, and another thing of ours right now is I think our team we're so offensively motivated. So when we don't see the ball going in the basket, we shut down a little bit. So I think not being so offensively motivated and focusing on defense will definitely win us games, like going into conference play and stuff, because getting a stop on defense and a transition layup, that's our bread and butter. Transition is definitely our bread and butter. So if we focus on defense a lot more, I think we'll have a successful year.
Of course. And, next 4 games are on the road for you guys. Your most current game at Colgate in Hamilton, New Hampshire. As we wrap up here, what do you hope to accomplish the rest of your season and throughout the rest of your college career? And what has been the most thing or the best thing that you've taken away from this whole college experience these past 3 years?
Yeah, so definitely this year for me, I would say I think I've matured a lot and I've had conversations with my coaches and stuff. And this year's going on is definitely going to be different. Like, I scored when I was little, I was always a scorer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, this year, coach told me that she needed me to get she was like, she can't have a score first point guard, basically. Yeah. So that's what I was growing up. Like when I caught the ball, my first thought was, how can I score? Like, am I going to rip? Am I going to shoot or something? But this year she wants me to be where can I get my teammate open? Yeah. So definitely that's a big change for me, but I'm just whatever. Like I said before, assists are just as good as points for me. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to I want to average 7 assists a game and stuff. But that's what I have to do. And also I feel like going into this year, because I'm not going to be scoring a lot, I need to do more on the defensive end. I want to average at least 1 charge every game. As you mentioned before, my rebounds at 5.5 was good. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do all the hustle plays and make the big plays that I can this year to get my team in a good situation to win, because I'm not going to be scoring a lot. So that's just what my mentality is this year. So
especially on the defensive end too, like you said, getting steals, that creates offense too. So if you're on a fast break, you get a good steal, that's 2 point, easy 2 points right there. So, or if you're on a 2-on-1, it's another assist for you, So it's there's never an instance where you have to think, oh man, I can't score. I mean, I can't, because there's so many things that you can do as a player that have just evolved so much over the years. And everyone has seen it, but has there ever been an instance in a game where you hesitated to shoot because you're like, oh, coach wants me to pass or coach wants me to do this? Like,
Yeah. My dad's gonna laugh when he hears this question. Yeah, actually last game I would say.
yeah,
I was wide open about 3 times and I just passed the ball because I have in the back of my mind, is this the right shot? Is there someone else that has a better shot? So I think it's definitely in the back of my mind and I'm thinking about it before I shoot. So I just have to pull it.
yeah, exactly. You have to go
Coach
back
did-
to like your old days kind of a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, she showed me after that game, like she's like, yeah, shoot that. Like it's the ball's gotten around, the shot clock wasn't at 30 seconds. Like you can shoot it, you're wide open. So
Right.
I mean, I'm just gonna have to get that.
Yeah,
out of my head.
especially watching film, and I know it's your 3rd season, but there's always room to I guess improve yourself and just
Mhm.
get better, and realize where you're going wrong, because that's
Yeah.
what the whole game's about. I guess that kind of wraps up everything I had lined up. I definitely need to catch your next home game. Like I just said it after the 4-game home road stretch. Well, that'll do it for episode 17 of Camp's Corner. Jayme, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And how did you like the show? And what do you think? Who would you want to see next? Would you want to see me try to get on for episode 18?
I think Cam's Corner is great. I love watching all your episodes, and I don't know. I think another female.
Honestly, I've been in talks with like Kaylin, old teammate. Definitely want to try to get Antonia too. Having the opportunity to watch all her home games, call all the home games.
Yeah.
She just had like about like 2 games ago. It was like a buzzer beater. The shot clock expired, and calls like that. Those are the best calls. Just to go crazy, and especially to see her do that and perform at that level, because she's having a huge year at Rick. So best of luck to her. Best of luck to Kaylin, and of course, best of luck to you in the rest of the season. I'll definitely be in touch. But again, Jayme, thank you again. Like I said, I'll be in touch, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
No problem.